What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/Cubcamtv for this, something a little bit different. As we are now moving rapidly towards the end of the year, it's very likely that the releases are going to slow down, meaning obviously we're going to be focusing a little bit less on newer content here on the channel. So I thought, as a way of kind of wrapping up the year, or at least beginning to wrap up the year, we've still got a month to go, but I thought, you know, we're going to get on it nice and early. I thought I would do a very special list today. So what we are going to do is we are going to look through the top 10 tracks of the year, in my honest opinion, within the extended kind of Afrobeat sound. Now, obviously with this channel, we do review a lot of different sounds and a lot of different genres of music, especially on a sort of global scale. So this list is going to have a couple of rules. The first rule is that this has to be my personal opinion, not the opinion based on stats or figures or anything like that. I know for a fact there are going to be a couple of tunes on this list that people are going to go, how has that got in ahead of that, or whichever way around you want to put it. However, this is my personal list for the top 10 tracks of the year within the extended Afrobeat sound. Now, on top of this as well, another rule is we have to have reviewed the track on the channel. Now, realistically, there's going to be loads of big tunes that I've probably missed, and there's going to be loads of tunes that have recently made this list due to them being features on the requested series, which is obviously tracks that I've been told about and then gone and found. But this list is primarily made up of tracks that we actually did review live as they were coming out, which again for me is a big part of this entire thing. Staying up to date with new releases as they happen is very, very important indeed. But overall, the entire point of this list is basically to celebrate some fantastic music. I would love for you guys to put your favorite, your top 10s, I suppose, into the list down below. Put them into the comments. I want to see everyone's top 10s down there, and then obviously there's going to be tunes in there that I've missed. It means I get to explore new tracks as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys do enjoy this list. It's something a little bit different. I'm trying to diversify the content away here on Cubcamtv, away from just doing reaction videos and interview content. There's going to be a lot more popping in 2021 as soon as we're into the new radio studio as well. But yeah, let's jump right into this list. So the other rule about this list as well, while we're here, it's going to be pretty much a vlog style setting, but these aren't going to be in a 1 to 10 order. These are just the overall 10 tracks that I've selected in this listing. They're written down in a random order, and we're going to go through them and explain why I enjoy them so much and why I believe they're on the top 10 for the year. So we're going to jump right into it now. So the first one on this list is, of course, Wizkid Big Mood featuring Buju. Now, there is a common theme that kind of runs through a lot of these tracks. Not all of them, but it's something that definitely does feature quite prominently, and that is that every single track on this list for me is a track that feels like it should have come out in the way it did. They feel like very natural releases. Now, Wizkid Big Mood, for me, is a tune that would have sounded right at home on the original album. Obviously, this came out as part of the Made in Lagos Deluxe Edition, and obviously with this, there was a big kind of hype to live up to. Made in Lagos was doing an incredible job. The actual album itself was still doing incredible numbers, and then the deluxe version of the project came out after that. Now, for me, this was the highlight on there. Obviously, there was a Justin Bieber remix, I think it was, of Essence, obviously featuring Thames, who's gone on to have a fantastic year. But for me, Big Mood was a tune that just fit right into the, well, essentially the essence of what Made in Lagos was all about. Smooth instrumental structure, features that made sense as well. It wasn't just a feature for the sake of it being a feature. It was a feature that made a lot of sense musically. I think Buju's verses on the tune did really, really well. I think Wizkid's back and forth with Buju worked really well, and overall it was a tune that has stuck in my head ever since I first heard it, and that's why it's the first one on today's list. Now, second on this list, Davido and Adekunle Gold with High. Again, an awesome tune. A tune that instantaneously hit home very, very well. When we've been doing live streams as well, this is a tune that has popped up numerous times as one of the potential tracks of the year. Again, we're looking at two of the best in the game here. Davido is one of the vocalists that you can always rely on to come with something a little bit special. Adekunle Gold, again, incredibly consistent, consistently getting better as well, I've found, with the releases that are coming out, and it's sick to see these two in collaboration. I definitely feel both of these two not necessarily had a point to prove, but definitely kind of when they came together, you could tell they wanted to make something special, and it definitely was in its final in its final kind of workings. A lot of energy, a lot of more sort of dance floor influenced energy throughout this one as well, obviously combining a lot of different international styles and flavors. And I think when they actually did come together, it turned into somewhat of a masterstroke. Whoever decided to link them up, if they decided to do it, if it was a management thing, whichever way, it definitely did turn out to be a very successful collaboration. So that's why that is also on this list. Okay, so number 3, again, these aren't in order. These are very literally just my lists of my top 10 just in general. It's not 1 to 10. These are just the 10 that I enjoy the most. Number 3 on this list, though, is Simi with Woman. Now, I've said numerous times on this channel, Simi is one of my favourite artists in the world. Her vocal tone is one of the most unique. Her sort of vocal performance factor is something that I always find stands out very, very significantly. I love the way she puts herself out on tunes, and for me, this one was very special indeed. It had such a cool kind of global vibe going on. The percussion on this tune is absolutely outstanding. There's a lot of kind of references directly back to Fela, obviously, throughout the production value, and just in general, it was a tune that really, really, I don't want to say sparked up her year, because she's obviously had a fantastic year regardless, and she's been on a lot of different features, but there was something special about this tune. It felt like a monumental moment, not just for Simi, but for the sound in general, and obviously off the back of this, we've seen such a fantastic display of kind of people getting involved with the dance challenges and things like that. It's gone semi-viral as a song, and the amount of people that we've seen off Simi's kind of feeds in regards to sort of Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that, the amount of people we've seen kind of getting involved with dance routines for this tune, it just says how big a deal it is. Again, fantastic tune. Okay, on this list again of this top 10, again, they're not in order. Please do remember that. They aren't in order. Tiwa Savage, Somebody's Son featuring Brandy. Now, this is a tune that up until maybe a week or so ago, I probably wouldn't have had in there. However, I have been listening to it a lot, and I found it becoming a real earworm. So there may be a slight sense of recency bias with this one. However, having tried to look at it objectively, I do think this is definitely in that list. It's an incredible collaboration, and the thing that I love about this one the most, more than anything else, is that you actually get Brandy going into Tiwa Savage's world. It's not the other way around. It's Brandy coming into Tiwa's world, and I think they both do a fantastic job. The harmonies they supply on this tune, for me, are absolutely through the roof. I love the direction that the actual tune takes, and more than anything else on top of this as well, I just think that the final product they end up with is possibly the best thing you could have hoped for from this sort of collaboration. The music video is great as well. I just think the way they double up next to each other, the way they kind of almost assist each other. Their vocal tones complement each other. It's a match made in heaven sonically. It's almost surprising that this one didn't do, I mean, it's done very well. Don't get me wrong. It's done very, very well. But it's weird to me that this wasn't a bigger deal globally, because this one was an absolutely awesome tune, and that is why it is on the list today. On this list as well, a little bit earlier on in the year, this one, Kilometer by Burna Boy. Again, obviously, Burna was coming off the back of a very successful album launch last year, did absolute bits. And obviously this year, following on from that, Burna's been focusing a little bit more on kind of features and sort of a little bit more on just doing things a little bit differently, which I've kind of liked. However, he has had a couple of bangers. He had Question come out quite recently with Don Jazzy on production, but this one for me was a tune that summarized the energy that makes so many of us love Burna Boy. Really kind of organic sounding drums on this one, a really cool sense of rhythm running throughout the tune as well. And just in general, the approach for this one felt like it was a tune that Burna Boy enjoyed the process of making. And sometimes when you've got artists that are coming off the back of albums, you can tell if they're just trying to grind another tune out or just grind another single out to remain relevant. This definitely didn't feel like that. This felt like him going, cool, I'm back in business, and this is a tune that you're all going to enjoy. And again, it's a tune I've played in the dance, it's a tune I've played on radio, and it's always got a fantastic reception. Again, the drums on this one are the things that make it special. The drums, the percussion, and again, the catchiness of that kilometer, that kind of hook, again, so catchy, and catchiness is such an important thing, especially when we're looking at tunes that stick in the back of our minds. Moving forward then on this as well, Fireboy DML with Peru. I think I'd be lying if I didn't include this in the list. Put it this way, it was such an explosive tune to land, and also the fact that, as far as I'm aware, it was a tune that was actually leaked. It wasn't ever officially properly released with a campaign. It may well have been, but I didn't clock it at the time. The video for it is literally just a visualizer of him jumping out of a plane. Like, it's kind of crazy how big a deal this tune was, despite the fact there wasn't an actual proper campaign behind it, or at least it didn't feel like there was at the time. We know Fireboy DML's had a fantastic year, some incredible collaborations with different artists around the world, and I think this is a good example of what he can do when he's rolling solo, man. A wicked tune, fantastic sense of energy throughout the tune as well, and it still has the kind of stripped back nature that we all know and love about Fireboy. So yeah, another fantastic addition to this list. A track from a little bit earlier on in the year next, Loj and SARS with Love and Attention featuring Wizkid. Now, most people probably will go for Mona Lisa if they're trying to pick a Loj and SARS tune for this year, but Love and Attention for me is the one that really stood out off that EP. Something so forward forward-thinking, futuristic, engaging about the way this track was put together. The electronic edge of this tune with the very kind of punchy percussion, the ridiculous instrumentation, and again, that very electronic sense of vocal that runs both throughout Wizkid and Lojay's vocal. It just sticks in the back of my head on a constant loop. This is a tune that I was running on a regular basis when it first landed, and it's a tune that I genuinely think I'm going to be playing for a long period of time. It's in my most played for radio shows. It's in my most played for the year, so it's definitely in there on that reason alone. But just in general, the forward-thinkingness and the creativity, the innovation behind this one, and obviously what Lojay and Sars have gone on to become. Sars already having that kind of legendary status as a producer anyway. I think this is the tune that really kind of paved the way, in my personal opinion. I may be entirely wrong, but this feels like the one that paved the way. On this list as well, Aerostar with Bloody Samaritan. Now, I did have the absolute pleasure of interviewing Aerostar earlier this year. That's now featured on the channel, so you can check that out in the Breakfast with Kovu section on the interviews panel. But yeah, honestly, this is a tune that has done an incredible job for Aera off the back of the launch of her project that came with it. I think this is a tune that summarizes, to an extent, what a single tune can do if you push it in the right way. So catchy. I think this is a tune that really introduced Aera to a global fan base. She's off the back of this come to the UK and done a few shows and done a bit of touring and a whole load of press work. Primarily, I feel, off the back of this tune. This was the one that stood out the most for a lot of people, and obviously it's done fantastic numbers on YouTube, on Spotify and everything. It's really kind of launched her to a global market, so definitely a tune that if you haven't heard, make sure you do go and listen. But if you're listening to this list and you care about this list, you've probably listened to every tune on this list. Again, for me, it was a tune that really did stand out as a moment, and that's something I always try to capitalize on in regards to if there is a moment, it usually means something more than it's just a good tune, and this definitely felt like one of those moments. Now, we've got two more tracks to get into. Now, Rema is on this list, despite all the current controversy that's going on. I'm trying to keep this purely about sonics and purely about the actual sounds that are being created. Like, I'm not diving too much into politics of what's going on, but for me, Soundgasm is without a doubt one of the tracks of the year. The vocal tones that Rema is able to hit on this tune are absolutely ridiculous. They're on a different planet. And in general, this was, again, one of my most played tunes of the year on The Breakfast Show. It's one of my most listened to tunes on Spotify as well. And just in general, it's a tune that really does take things in a different direction. Rema's vocal tone is something that I've always been a big fan of. I love the fact he is able to kind of take tunes in a different direction with a more delicate vocal performance, and it's the high-pitched sort of looping nature of this one which really does put it on a higher pedestal for me. Fantastic tune, and again, I'm trying not to pay any attention to politics-related stuff, but is what it is. I don't really know what's going on, to be honest with you. However, the tune itself has to be in this list for me. Now, one more addition to this list in, number 10. This is the most recent track to be released. It did actually come out on Friday, and I have already said that I think this could well be the track of the year. DJ Neptune, A Beg, featuring Omar Lay and Joeboy. Now, as the most recent addition to this list, it definitely is one that's going to need to sink in a little while for certain people, but on a general overall level, I will be very surprised if this doesn't end up as one of the most popular tracks of the year. Obviously, you've got Omar Lay and Joeboy, two of the biggest names out there. You've got Neptune on production, and he provides an incredible instrumental for this one. So spacious in its design, and yet taking those kind of amapiano-y kind of elements, the log drum, the rolling percussion. There are so many things about it which make it special. It's constantly taking you in different directions. There's so much unpredictability about this one that when you actually sit down and take it in, you are thrown left, right, and center. Do go and check out the reaction for this one, because you can see my eyes are just lighting up at how different it is and how varied the production style is. And that's why it is on this list. I don't really care if people think it shouldn't be on this list yet, because it's so recent. For me, in all honesty, the way it came out, the way it just kind of landed out of nowhere and was this incredible, incredibly varied approach on combining Afrobeat and Amapiano styles. For me, it was instantaneously in my top 10 for the year. And there we go. That is the top 10 list for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Again, it's a different sort of style of video. I'm trying to keep things quite simple in regards to the sort of way things are edited. I much prefer making short form content in a much more vloggy style rather than loads of different effects and stuff moving around. I like to keep stuff quite simple about the subject matter rather than ridiculous editing and things like that. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this more vlog style of content. If you'd like to see more of it, please do let me know. I'm always down to do these little chats, especially while I'm away from Radio it keeps me able to flex my talking muscles, shall we say. But there we go. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, please make sure you're getting involved with the channel by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all of that good stuff. And of course, if you would like to request a track on the channel to be reacted to and given the musical breakdown and analysis we love to do on the requested series, please do get your comments in via your requests in via the comment section down below. I do read every single one, and I'm trying to get round to every single one as we go. If you haven't had your track reacted to yet, please don't feel put off by it. I am slowly but surely getting around to a lot, and obviously we upload a lot of videos, and every single time we put a video up, more people comment, so I'm trying to keep up with all of them, but do rest assured at some point I will get round to each and every one of them. So there we go. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I most certainly have. That's it from me though, and please do leave your lists for the top 10s that you guys have decided in the comment section down below. I don't want to just know them in order. To be honest, I'd rather just have 10 tracks, and then we can all discuss our favourite top 10s down below. So please do get involved. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we shall see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Cubcamtv. Stay locked.